Baseball fans, and it's baseball time in Texas as we're just about ready to get underway here at Raider Field, waiting for the umpires to show up. But you know what an exciting time going down the home stretch. We've got 3 series left, 2 with Hayes with Cedar Park in all of the state, Jonathan.
Yeah, and that seems to be a consistent through over the last, well, since 2021
Right.
officially. Now, 2020 could have very likely have been that way had it not been for the COVID year and not having the full season after tournaments. Really, we never even got the season started. So, but yeah, I mean, it's and obviously always having the start against Leander, then into Liberty Hill. So we start out pretty difficult, good rivalries, and then ending with Cedar Park. Always ends up being a great series. Take schedules, take season standings throw them out the window, and just let the guys go out there and play and see what happens.
So 4 teams out of District 25 5A are ranked by Texas High School Baseball.
Yeah, and I'll pull that up here.
In the top 25.
Yeah, and last week we did see a 7, 8, and 9, which was Liberty Hill, Cedar Park.
Actually, it's Cedar Park, Liberty Hill, and Rouse.
Oh, Cedar Park was even ahead of Liberty Hill. Okay, so yeah. Cedar Park, having taken possibly a loss, this last week, has seen them swap places with Rouse. Cedar Park making it down to 9 now. Rouse at 7. Liberty Hill moves up 2 spots to number 6, and Buda Hayes, our opponent tonight, has crept into the top 25 as highlighted here. They make it in at 23rd at a 19-5 record.
Right. And so, you got 4 teams currently tied at 6-2 in this district. And we'll go over the scores from last week.
Correct. Yeah. Scores did show here Rouse winning 12-1 at Lockhart and 7-0 here at home, which did mark Coach Crimpine's 500th win at home, home game, as it were. We did see Cedar Park beat Hayes 6-3, and then Hayes switching the script and beating them 3-1. Liberty Hill handling Lehman 5-2 and 3-1, and then Leander Glenn, also Leander taking care of business there, winning 4-0 and 3-2, which then turns around and brings us to our 25-5A standings. We do see Liberty Hill, Buda Hayes, Rouse Raiders, and Cedar Park all tied at the top at 6-2. However, as you see them ranked, is their standings utilizing head-to-head. So that shows Liberty Hill at the top, Hayes second, Rouse third, Cedar Park fourth. If it were to end today, those would be the 4 teams moving on to playoffs. Rounding out your top 8 would be Leander Lions at 4-4. Kyle Lehman Lobos at 2-6, and then Leander Glenn and Lockhart Lions at 1-7.
So the Raiders have their hands full. Last year, they had a tough go against this Hayes team, and we're seeing 8 returning going on the air and seeing these guys this year. I was recalling Cooper Ginn, who will be leading off for the Hayes. He was the leadoff last year. Yep. And Cullen Lee, who's on the mound for the Hawks, he's on the mound again tonight.
Correct.
So last year we had some costly errors, cost us a couple of runs in the first, and we ended up dropping that game.
Well, we couldn't mount any offense against them, right? I mean, and it was Cullen Lee that was that pitcher that kept the Rouse bats on their heels and not really allowing them to take advantage of a big inning like they were used to.
Hayes comes into tonight 19-5 overall. They're 6-2 in district play. They're coached by James Howard. He's in his 9th season with 135 wins. He's assisted by Steve Riojas, Elijah Gonzalez, and Raul Lopez. Their 2023 record is 16-15-1. They were 9-5 and a by-district finalist, and they have 8 returning starters. The Rouse Raiders come in 19-5-1. They're 6-2 in district. They're coached by Chad Crimpine, and let's bring this up, Jonathan. Congratulations, he's at 500 career wins. So,
X or YouTube or any of the social medias did get to see that 500th win post for Coach Griffin. So congratulations, Coach. Enjoyed being a part of that. Not nearly as much as my colleague over here, Mr. Michael Francis, in his 11th year.
All right.
Calling basically every year of those of the wins here with Rouse.
Yeah. Right. But a good number of those are here with Rouse, as he's been here since 2017. It was his inaugural year, and the first year that the Raiders really went into the playoffs. They did have one play-in game one year, and it was a three-way tie for that fourth spot between Rouse, Vandegrift, and Marble Falls. And so Rouse ended up beating Vandegrift, but they lost to Marble Falls, and Marble Falls went on to play in that fourth seed out of the district at that time. No. That was back during the Coach Cochran era, back early on. So, you know, but the first real taste of playoff action was in 2017 with Devin Hooper and that group of young men. I was looking through the other day and seeing a lot of those names, remembering those guys back in that run. You had Robbie Caro and Seth, of course, Seth Francis and Blake Templeton. All those guys that played back in the day. So leading off for Hayes will be number 2, Cooper Ginn. He will be playing shortstop for the Hawks. Batting second will be number 3, Adriano Fernandez at third base. Batting third will be number 22, Holden Catron at first base. Batting fourth will be number 6, Gio Escovel at second base. On the mound, as I mentioned a while ago, number 8, Cullen Lee will be batting fifth. The designated hitter for the Hawks will be number 16, Ryder Garcia, and he will be hitting for the catcher, number 24, Jeremiah Pacheco. Number 13, Alex Villalobos will be in center field. And batting eighth will be number 18, Graydon Kidd in right field. And rounding out the order will be number 1, Joaquin Baruman in left field. So a lot of these names I remember from the lineup last year. Cooper Ginn, Holden Catron, Gio Escovel, Cullen Lee, Jeremiah Pacheco, Alex Villalobos.
Graydon Kidd even.
Yeah. So those guys, I remember calling those names for sure. For your Rouse Raiders, leading off will be number 9, Rainer Heinrich at second base. Batting second will be number 12, Tyler Espinosa in right field. Batting third will be number 8, Oscar Salazar at first base. Batting fourth will be number 10, Landon Miller in center field. Batting fifth will be number 22, Nathan Miller at third base. Batting sixth will be number 11, Andrew Sanchez. He will be the designated hitter. He will be hitting for the left fielder, number 31, Adrian Graves. Batting seventh will be number 6, Gavin Silva. He will be the starting pitcher for the Raiders tonight. Batting eighth will be the shortstop, number 7, Jacob Solis. Batting ninth will be the catcher, number 14, Xander Forsell. And we've got a good game on tap all week long. As I mentioned earlier, we got Hayes for 2 games, and then we'll play Lake Belton this Saturday. And Jonathan and I will be on the road, and then next week we'll be back here versus Glenn. We're going to take a moment here for the national anthem. We want to thank you for tuning in and watching Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Ewan, play ball. It's baseball time in Texas as we are ready to get underway. Defensively for your Raiders tonight. On the mound will be number 6, Gavin Silva. Behind the plate, number 14, Xander Forcell. At first base, number 8, Oscar Salazar. At second base, number 9, Rainer Heinrich. At third base, number 22, Nathan Miller. At short, number 7, Jacob Solis. In left field, number 31, Adrian Graves. In center field, number 10, Landon Miller. And in right field, number 12, Tyler Espinosa. And Jonathan, as you mentioned last year about Tyler Espinosa being back in the lineup tonight in that number 2 position behind Rainer Heinrich. And I was listening to that broadcast from last year, and you prognosticated about that's where Tyler Espinosa needed to be with that hot bat right behind Rainer Heinrich.
Yes, sir. And, again, we did get to see him return to the lineup last week in the outfield and did get that bat going again last week as well, getting his first hit of this season, having come back from a little bit of an injury. Nothing crazy or out of the ordinary, but definitely something that kept him out of the lineup. And we're going to see him return and come into that 2 spot, which has been a revolving door as we have seen throughout this year. Coach really looking for that one guy to hold that spot and really be a catalyst for this team in the early stages of the lineup and get to see a lot of at-bats in that number 2 spot. You really need that with Rainer Heinrich almost always being on the base. Landon Miller, Oscar Salazar doing a great job with a lot of power behind him. If he's getting on, you want more guys on the base, right?
Right. Due up for the Hawks in the first, Cooper Jen, Adriano Fernandez, and Holden Catrone.
Starting us off at the top of the first inning for the Hawks.
Yeah, really excited to see how this lineup's going to look for Rouse moving forward. I believe Coach has finally fine-tuned it to a point where he's found the proper guys to be in each spot. So
Jen will stand in, batting from the right side. He will take a breaking ball for strike 1. Silva with back-to-back. Ooh, man, that was nasty. Oh, my gosh. You talk about a bender. Nothing into the count to Jen. It goes back to the outside, trying to get him to chase for ball 1.
Yeah, that was that put-away pitch. You would hope to see a chase, having thrown 2 previous ones, but he didn't bite.
1-2. Another breaking ball catches him looking for out number 1.
And he just brings it into his left shoulder of the batter, and it just breaks a good 1.5 feet right over the middle of the plate.
And that's probably some of the nastiest stuff I've seen come from him so far out on these broadcasts. Now, obviously, we don't get the opportunity to broadcast during tournament season, especially with the Laredo tournament. But he had a stellar tournament season. First pitch to Adriano Fernandez, batting from the left side, outside and high for ball 1.
Well, as is the norm here in Texas, we have another shift again, another front come through last night.
Another breaking pitch, really working well for him so far. 1-1.
And that changes our wind pattern out of the north again.
Oh, that will hit him and put him on.
Hit his elbow pad that he did not actually have on. It seemed like, or does he have an elbow pad on? It was a clank.
Right.
It was a yeah. He just motioned to the first base coach that it clicked him on the elbow. So that's the reason he has it on.
1 on with 1 out for Holden Catrone.
What a big dude we have here.
Catrone, the first baseman for the Hawks.
This kid's a hoss, man.
First pitch offering, high and outside for ball 1.
Battery popped up. Flicked it in.
1-0 the count. Fernandez extends his lead first. That pitch misses outside for ball 2.
And Gavin Silva being a little bit more, I would say not patient, but careful with Holden Catrone, not wanting to leave him something middle and inside that he can turn on.
Gio Esquivel on deck. Swing and a miss for a strike, and that'll take it 2-1.
Great pitch to get himself back in this at bat. Bringing it to a 2-1 count.
Silva from the stretch. The 2-1 pitch. That will squib away from Forcell, but Fernandez will hold it first as Forcell was quickly on his feet. Three ball, one strike count to Holden Catrone. 3-1 pitch. That's outside for ball 4. And the Hawks have 2 aboard early in this inning. Get the leadoff strikeout and then follow it up with a hit by pitch and a walk.
That walk did immediately draw the attention of both Vander Forcell and Oscar Salazar as they came to talk to Gavin and just let him know, hey, we're here behind you. Let these guys swing at a few. No need to dance around them too much. They're being very patient and very disciplined at the plate, not swinging at those outer half balls.
Well, as you mentioned, he's got to pitch to contact. That's one thing you always say, pitch to contact.
Correct.
And let your defense play for you.
Defense is there.
And that breaking ball sails outside for ball 1.
And it's a game of adjustments. Gavin was able to do that after his loss to Liberty Hill, which was one of his first of the year. And then he turned around and had a...
Just misses outside for ball 2.
But he had a little bit of a rough start in his next outing, but he made that adjustment. And again, a senior, right? And you want to see that. Make those adjustments and become better pitcher as a result of that and return to form.
Throw back to second will not be in time as Fernandez gets back safely.
A little bit of a delayed attempt at the pickoff there from Gavin Silva. Maybe a snap throw, a little quicker snap throw may have had a chance to get him.
2-0 the count to Esquivel. A 2-0 pitch. That's down and away for ball 3. Cullen Lee on deck. The 3-0 pitch. That gets the outside corner, a fastball in for strike 1. And, that's what's got to keep coming.
Well, but even those are on the outer half. He has yet to challenge them inside. Has yet to do that. The breaking pitches had still ended up middle of the plate.
Swing and a miss on a beautiful breaking ball.
Which, again, finished middle outer half. He still is not. And again, there could be a scouting report out there from Coach Krimping that with strict rules to them, nothing is left inside. No, he didn't go. Oh!
He did go.
As having gone around with that check swing from Gio Esquivel.
I'll tell you what, that wind is whipping, Jonathan. It's blowing from left to right. If you can see the flags straight away in center field, they are blowing
and I
straight
think that
in a straight line. All right,
with that breaking pitch. I mean, it's going to assist that pitch.
Cullen's
strong enough.
Cullen Lee will come to the plate. 2 on with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Silva from the stretch, breaking ball in for a strike, and he went to the inside, Jonathan.
He did go to the inside. That was the first pitch that stayed on the inside. Again, a breaking pitch with a lot of break and a lot of movement, but did stay on the inner half of the plate.
The 0-1. This is lined back up the middle. This will be played by Heinrich, and he'll step on the bag himself. What a play by Rainer Heinrich, and I'm going to do it. Ba-da-da, da-da-da. He lays out opposite glove hand to make a diving stop, then gets up and runs to the bag to tag Catrone out.
And again, you second baseman, young second baseman out there, always moving. Rainer Heinrich, always moving, always looking to keep that runner off balance and off attention and not getting a good break for third if they're looking to steal. But that allowed him to also be in a great position there to be able to make a play on that ball, hit very hard and up the middle. And again, guys, I can only tell you, just keep an eye. When you come to these games, young players, watch these older players, guys that are committed to D1s, like Rainer Heinrich to Tarleton. You know, there's a reason they're going there. There's a reason they've been as successful as they have. And he is not quite a 4-year starter, but he was here. He was up here.
Yeah, he was here.
Playing time, any real playing time as a freshman, but
He's been a 3-year starter.
There, he is a 3-year starter. Yes, sir.
Due up for the Raiders, Heinrich, Espinosa, and Salazar. Defensively for the Hawks tonight, on the mound, Cullen Lee. Behind the plate, number 24, Jeremiah Pacheco at third base. First base, number 22, Holden Catrone. At second base, number 6, Gio Esquivel. At third base, number 3, Adriano Fernandez. At short, number 2, Cooper Jen. In left field, number 1, Joaquin Baruman. In center field, number 13, Alex Villalobos. And in right field, number 18, Graydon Kidd. So the Raiders got to get up here, Jonathan. They got to take care of business. They got to make contact and hit it where they're not. Last year, Cullen Lee was able to keep them off balance and roll over on pitches and not get a very good hit.
Correct.
You know,
it was, again, just he kept them off balance. You said it perfectly. And it can be just that simple, although it's not that simple against the sticks that are possessed by the Rouse Raiders. And one thing that has happened already this year, has somebody's been able to keep them on their heels and off balance and not really string together multiple hits. So we'll see if they can change that up against a solid pitcher, a proven pitcher.
The wind blowing in and a little chilly here in the press box.
I brought my hoodie. Got my hoodie.
That Mike Alepa finally delivered to you.
But yeah, as was pointed out, I mean, you also get to see a reunion here between our assistant coach, Manny Perez, and
he was coaching for them last year and over the summer. After Coach Harris left, Coach Crimpine and Coach Perez. But Coach Perez has coached with him over the years, and so it's not anything new. They have a long-term relationship in the coaching field. Rainer Heinrich will make his way to the plate. The first pitch offering, that's outside for ball 1.
And again, this ump is very consistent with that so far, as we've now seen that pitch several times call the ball.
And pitch outside for ball 2. And if I recall, is this the one that liked that high and outside strike zone? It's hard to tell.
High yet, but definitely not outside. Oh, I understand. No, not the same one that we did earlier. You're talking about earlier this year.
Right, yeah.
No, sir. Different.
That pitch in for a strike.
Different guy. I think that guy was a little bit more, was a little taller. Was not as
maybe a little thicker. 2-1 the count to Heinrich. Tyler Espinosa on deck. 2-1 pitch. Fastball fouled off on a check swing for strike 2. On a pitch that would have been up out of the zone, but
it was climbing up as much as it was running in. on the hands of Rayner, and he did try to back away to not be hit and just was not able to get that bat out of the way. But better bat than fingers.
With 2-2, Hat is line to third, and Fernandez will make the catch.
Just a loud out was that one. Very hard, very well hit ball from the bat of Rayner Heinrich, and right at the third baseman, Adriano Fernandez.
So interesting. I'll go back to this. Is listening to that broadcast. Their PA guy last year called him Rayner Heinrich.
Heinrich.
Yeah. First pitch offering to Espinoza gets the low corner for a strike.
The only thing that would have made that better if it was Rayner Heinrich, right?
Right. Yeah. You said that same thing
Rayner.
last year. The 0-1. That will miss low for ball one, and that'll even it up.
All right, Espy. Tyler Espinoza, known by the other players as Espy.
Salazar on deck. The 1-1 pitch. That's outside for ball two.
Yeah, again, Colin Lee, a very over-the-top pitcher. Not really seeing that slot being three-quarter or it's very over-the-top, which normally makes that 12-6 breaking pitch really good.
2-1. That's out of the glove of Pacheco and goes to the fence for ball three.
How that did not hit Tyler's helmet. That got so close to the brim of the... No, they didn't call it a foul.
Oscar Salazar.
That was hit his glove.
Hit the top of his glove.
Hit the glove of the catcher.
Yeah, the mitt. Wait a minute. We're talking about catcher. The mitt.
Mitt, okay. Just like it's dirt,
Yeah.
right?
Shows bunt. He'll take a fastball for a strike down the middle any way you look at it. And the count will work full. Oscar Salazar helping out his on-deck fielding percentage.
Best versus best here between SB and Colin Lee.
Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed for strike three.
Was a really, really good off-speed changeup, as it did see Tyler well out in front, and that does show a little bit of that rust from not having a lot of game time plate experience. You know, coach would not put him in there if he was not 100% ready to go, which we know he is, but it's a difference between practice and game speed.
Lee winds and hits the top corner for strike one. Oscar Salazar standing in. Landon Miller on deck. Nobody on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. We're scoreless. Swing and a miss on one that dropped the bottom out.
Really, really good changeup that Colin Lee possesses. As he has made 2 of the Rouse hitters look a bit off with those swings, not looking like their normal selves.
The 0-2 pitch, that's outside for ball one. He knew he wasn't going to put anything close for him to hit.
Knows how dangerous Osal is with that bat in his hand.
1-2. That's down and away for ball two, and that'll even it up.
It's almost like he's stretching. Colin Lee's trying to stretch that zone to see if he can get somebody to chase, as did Gavin Silva with no success earlier.
This is wild. This is lined back up the middle, and this will be a base hit for Oscar Salazar.
Next up to bat, center fielder, number 10, Landon Miller.
Right up the middle.
Yeah, and I could not throw a contrast there between Gio Escovel and Rayner Heinrich, as they were not in the same situation. Rayner did have a runner on second that he was looking to hold, and that did bring him more to center behind second base, where he was able to make the play, and Gio just missing that one in the same spot.
Pacheco gives the sign, and Lee shakes it off and gets one he likes. And this time Miller will bunt it down the line, and that will do it for the Raiders. That will go 1-3 on the putout of Miller to end the first. But they get no runs on one hit. They leave one, and after one complete, we're scoreless.
Or we do have some pizza rolls, Bush's Chicken.
Here at Raider Field.
So not 100% that was what was called there, as even Oscar Salazar sort of looked back at Landon like, a bunt on first pitch there, buddy?
Yeah.
Not sure. We've seen it very successful, earlier this year, that
Right.
small ball. And, normally you would want to see that going more to third base side versus first base side and giving Landon Speed a better opportunity to lay out an infield hit.
So we want to give a shout out to our double sponsors, Austin Summit Group, Terry McDaniel and Company Investment, and Team Guerrero. Thank you for your sponsorship of Rouse Raider Baseball. We could not do it without our fine sponsors.
Yes, sir. Very, very much appreciative of that.
Due up for Hayes in the second, Garcia, Villalobos, and Kidd.
Yeah, we're not able to quite get away with the signs pasting the outfield wall as advertisement and fundraising opportunities, so we do have our other ways of having that.
Yeah, LAISD is funny like that. They don't want stuff on their fences, and I think it takes a little bit away from it, right? You used to seeing ads up on fences
Digital ads.
back in the majors back years ago, right?
What is that? That Bose Tires?
Yeah, Bose Tire Barn.
Bose Tire Barn.
And the Ricky, a swing and a miss from Garcia for a strike.
And what, Bull Durham, if you hit the bull, you get a free steak?
The 0-1, this is hit foul down the first base side for strike 2.
Some of the great movies. I think Bose Tire Barn was off of The Rookie.
It was off the rookie. Dennis Quaid.
Yes. Great movies.
Playing as Jimmy Morris. That gets away from Silva
Old Man River.
for ball 1. 1-2. The 1-2, a breaking ball gets away from him.
2 in a row getting away a little bit from Gavin
Yeah,
Silva.
the wind blowing a little chill, so fingers might be a little bit dry.
Yeah. Right?
The 2-2 again. Now the count goes back full
3 in a row there. And
when he had him in an 0-2 count. Breaking ball sails high for ball 4.
Now batting center fielder number 13.
yeah,
Alex.
the first 2 pitches looked.
Coach Crimpine will call time and make his way out to the mound. And this is a second walk issued
And this may
by
just
Silva.
an investigative check from Coach Crimpine just to make sure Gavin's not hurting or feeling bad or, is there any pain in the elbow or the arm? Yeah, there's definitely some talking going on, making sure he feels good. I never saw him shake an elbow, look down. He just sort of shook his head like, darn it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting the snap, on that breaking pitch like he was in the first inning.
Well, being dads of sons that have pitched,
Yes.
when the coach goes out there, it isn't necessarily a good thing that he's saying to you when you're out there.
And different players can handle that different ways,
Right.
It's another thing that makes a great coach, understanding how to talk to these guys.
The first pitch to Villalobos.
Guess a little high.
In for a ball.
That definitely caught some of the plate that I could see. So I would say was high in the zone.
1-0 the count to Villalobos. He will show bunt and lay off and take a strike.
There's the breaking pitch. There's what we have come to know and love.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. I'm Michael Francis alongside Mr. Jonathan Kaspar. That'll get the outside corner for strike 2, and that's probably one of the rare times I called you Kaspar.
Yep,
Instead of Kaspar.
You're good. Like I said, Kaspar is what I've been called my entire life.
1-2. This is lined back up the middle. Heinrich will get it. He'll step on the bag for 1. The throw to first. And time for a double play. Wow.
And right there. I mean, Jacob Solis was there to cover, but Rayner was like, man, I'm close enough. Let me turn and spin and throw. And he just had enough mustard on that one to get and a great full bore almost split by Osal over there at first to get the call.
I mean, the eye test says he was safe.
That's what I was they got a call.
But the ump test says he was out.
And the
Graydon Kidd will stand in. He takes for ball one.
The ump was definitely on the call, had a good eye on it. So who are we to argue?
Yeah.
I mean,
a breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, and that will even it up.
So again, low and outer half. He's calling those. And so far, lefties and righties, but he has nothing middle to up in the zone. He's not getting that strike call.
That is popped up and playable. The throw to first will not be in time, and that will hit the fence. But fortunately does not go in the dugout as Silva got a glove on it and actually kind of knocked it down.
Yeah, and he actually Solis tried to get in as much as he could, but he slipped in the dirt, so he dove and was not able to make the play, but it bounced short of him up to Rayner, who fielded the ball, but a lot of speed possessed right there by.
That goes down as a base hit.
Yeah, Graydon Kidd had a good wheels getting up the line, and yes, I would agree to call that a base hit.
Joaquin Baruman will come to the plate for his first at bat, and he'll take for a strike. One on with 2 outs here in the top of the second. We're in a scoreless contest. We do have some activity in the Raider bullpen. This is line back up the middle. This will be played by Solis, and he'll step on the bag to end the inning. That'll go 6U on the put out of Graydon Kidd, and a fielder's choice for Baruman.
We'd like to.
Tell you what, interestingly enough, that's the 3 hits for contact that we've seen up to this point have all been right up the middle. So I don't understand what that's all about, but no pulls, no pushes, nothing of the sort. Everything just going right up the middle.
Cullen Lee makes his way back out to pitch the second for the Hawks after a good first inning.
Yes, he did.
He faced 4 in the first.
Which did also show an up the middle shot by Oscar Salazar and a hard pulled shot by Rayner Heinrich that was fielded. So at least 2 of the 4 batters for Rouse making good solid contact with the ball.
I believe he only had 17 pitches in that first inning.
Tell you what, let's
due up for the Raiders, Nathan Miller, Andrew Sanchez, and Galvin Silva.
Next in line.
And we will have to look and see. I'm just pulling up the game right now from Game Changer. And he had 17 pitches. Look at this.
How'd you like that?
With that book.
Third baseman, Nathan Miller.
So I used to, one of the dads that Caden played, or one of the kids that Caden played with for many, many years, his dad would take book, and I'll tell you what, you want to talk about somebody that took it serious. He'd have his sweatband on his arm, right? But he'd have extra pencils, and he didn't like mechanical. Nope, swinging.
Miller will pop this one up, and that'll be played by Esquivel, and he will make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, he'd have extra pencils, stuck in his little armband, and I had to try to take book in his stead one time because he had to leave real quick and make it back. But he would actually have different markings on a strike and a ball based off of, was it a swinging strike or was it a looking strike? If it was a looking strike, was it high or low? And he used every bit of the box.
Swing and a miss for strike 1.
That was the analyst in him. He was a numbers guy.
Another fastball down the middle for strike 2. Nothing in 2 to Sanchez. And Gavin Silva on deck. We do have a lefty up getting loose.
Hendy?
Swing and a miss for strike 3, and that will do it.
Oh, it is Holbrook. Okay, so it's either 3 or 13 if it's a lefty. And I was I'm in my corner over here, so I can't ever see who's warming up in the bullpen. But I was known by Mr. Don Miller that it's Dalton Holbrook.
Silva will take for a ball.
Good. And we do actually see Gavin Silva staying in to hit for himself, something we have not seen yet this season.
1-0. That one looked good, too. That was just outside. And Lee showing a little displeasure. And I can't say that I blame him too much.
Yeah, I mean,
looked pretty good.
I couldn't say that was high either.
The 2-0. He goes back with the same pitch, and this time it's a strike.
Again, maybe it was a little lower, about half an inch lower than the other one.
And
that's what makes the difference. Game of inches.
I guess you're right, my friend.
Yeah,
this one is lifted high to left. Baruman will play it. He'll make the catch, and that will do it. They go in order in the second. After 2 complete, we're still scoreless.
Yeah, and one thing you definitely cannot do on this field is hit the ball in the air. The wind will just absolutely eat it up, and no opportunity for a fielder to miss, really. I mean, they've got plenty of time to get underneath it on a wind like this. You could only hope that the wind does play around with it and knocks it down a little bit, but had a lot of opportunity, easy opportunity there for the outfield, for the left fielder.
7 pitches.
All right, 20.
And 3 outs. We'll go over our triple sponsors. 4 Wheel Parts and B to Z Engineering. We want to thank these guys for their sponsorship of Rouse Raider Baseball and helping to bring these games to you each and every week. All of our sponsors that contribute and make such a big part of Rouse Raider Baseball, thank you for your generous and kind support.
We definitely could not have all the goodies that we do have for these boys without those sponsors. And, even if you make it to a home game, folks, got to visit the concession stand with pulled pork, nachos.
My goodness, that was some good stuff.
Almost feel like the guys in ESPN watching those games during college game day. Wherever field they're at, they get that smorgasbord of food brought to them. Love it.
Back to the top we go. Cooper Jen leading off. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Swing and a miss on a little high cheese.
Gavin doing a great job of getting ahead of most of the batters so far, and Cooper Jen was not going to let that get by him without at least offering at it.
A breaking ball gets the inside corner. What a beautiful pitch.
Just as I say that, he watches the next pitch, another breaking pitch in there for a strike.
That one will get away for ball 1.
Good amount of people here in the stands, but a bit quiet.
Yeah, just a bit on the chilly side. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Sun's still peeking out right now.
Number 3.
Making those shadows a bit longer, but it's not quite crept into the low 60s yet.
Fernandez will come to the plate. He's 0 for 0. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. That is hammered down the right field side, and it will go into right field as it goes underneath the outstretched arms of Rainer Heinrich for a base hit.
Oh, and okay. Gavin Silva having to make a run off the mound there as the ball got away as it was thrown in from the outfield, and
No man in first baseman, number 22, Holden
I'm
Patron.
not sure who that was, but you could hear Coach Perez talking about the guys to make sure they're keeping an eye out there.
Catrone will come to the plate. He's 0 for 0. He drew a walk his first time up. First pitch down and away for a ball, and Catrone has yet to see a strike.
If he's even seen anything close to a strike yet, Michael.
I'll take that back. He had one strike to lead off with. Breaking ball misses low and inside.
That's going to tell Gavin Silva something, because Catrone really backed out hard on that one, thinking, but it was nowhere close to him as much break as that had. So I think Gavin could go right back at that and be very successful with it.
That is fouled off for a strike. Gio Esquivel helping his on-deck fielding percentage. 2-1 the count to Catrone.
See what kind of stretch we get from the runner over here, Adriano Fernandez.
This will be hit back up the middle. This will be played by Solis. The second. Oh, and a bad throw. It will go into right field, and Fernandez will round and go to third. That will go down as an E6.
Know that was necessarily a bad throw, though.
It was a bad throw.
Okay.
It doesn't get the grace that a first baseman gets.
Xander making his way in front of the plate to
Runners on the corners.
let the defense know what the runners on the corner play will be. Most of the time, that's going to be discussed between letting the runner get to second if he does decide to steal or not.
First pitch gets the outside corner for strike one to Esquivel.
Yeah, you definitely see a lot of thoughts on that from coaches, whether they just let that guy take second, or do they fake the throw to see if they can bait the runner at third and coming home?
Throw to first will not be in time as Catrone dives back in safely.
And there's another one. Will they have enough confidence in their pitcher and first baseman to make that throw? Which, aside from our shortstop, we do have an all-senior infield.
Esquivel 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He shows bunt, and he will lay this down. The throw to first in time. The throw home will not be, and there will be a score. The Raiders do get an out, but they concede the run. That will be a sack bunt.
Now batting pitcher, number 8, Colin Lee.
And they did get the out. So, there's another option there. Is do you hard pump throw and fake the throw to first?
And then to load the bases, you run that risk.
Correct. If he doesn't make his way down the line, so cat and mouse game between the defense and the runners.
This is hit out to right center. And what a play by Tyler Espinoza. My goodness.
Welcome back,
Superman.
What a great play. Fighting the sun on that didn't allow him to really get as probably as much of a jump on there as he wanted. So, but he made up for it at the end with that great dive.
Wow. Talk about ba-da-dun, da-da-dun.
Second one of the game.
Well, that is one run on one hit. They leave one. And on to the bottom we go. Hayes leading Rouse 1-0.
Yes, so can they're it's a little bit of a bad situation there and an error allowing that runner to stay alive, and and come in to score. So, not something that would have happened. We would have been out of the inning one or two batters ago had it not been for that play, because that did have the potential for a double play. So that was two extra guys getting a chance to come up to bat. That well-laid bunt with only one out, bringing in the run.
Due up for the Raiders in the third, Solis, Forsell, and Heinrich.
So we will see the
Cullen Lee back out on the mound, coming off of a 7-pitch second inning. He had 24 pitches.
Yes, he does. And, effective, and again, another returning starter for the Hayes Hawks. Got to catch myself making sure to call them the Hawks.
Yeah, right.
I'm not used to that at all.
Yeah, that was a question you did ask last year. Well, who are the Rebels?
It was like, who are the Hawks? It's like, wait, we're,
Yeah, they changed. They had a name change.
They did, and Hayes was somebody that we played against when I was in Bastrop. So they've been around a really long time, and
well, they had a lot of tradition and culture built around that.
So nice.
But in today's society, changes are made. So Lees will stand in for his first opportunity as he faces Lee for the first time. This will be cut on and hit up to short. Cooper Ginn has it. The throw to first in time. 1 pitch and 1 out. That'll go 6-3.
Contact is the start.
Now batting catcher number 14, Senator Forsell.
Forsell getting his first opportunity tonight. Lee winds and pitches down the middle for a strike. He took a little bit off of that one. The 0-1, this is hit back up to second. That'll be booted, but played in time. It took him a second. He thought about it.
I think maybe that was
I think that was
call situation there, because that ball was dropped, and then when he picked it up, he lobbed it over to first, which gave Sander an opportunity to get and make that a bang play, which did not go our way, but that's.
Had that been one of the other runners like Rainer Heinrich or Landon Miller that probably had him by 2 or 3 steps, they would have been safe.
Oh, come on. You can't say 2 or 3 steps. I mean,
okay, well,
at the most. I mean, Sanders
Heinrich takes for ball 1.
Dropped the trailer right as getting out of the batter's box. I mean, so he was getting the drop down the line. He didn't drop the second, third trailer. He only got rid of one of them.
High and inside for a ball 2.
High and inside.
High and inside. The 2-0, that's outside for ball 3. Now, I would agree with the guy. The first one looked like a strike, but that second one definitely high and inside.
As we talked about, I mean, high is not this guy's cup of tea.
That's down the middle for a strike. SB on deck. 3-1 pitch. This is popped up and playable, and it'll be played by Adriano Fernandez. First time he lined to third. This time he flies to third. And the Raiders go in order for the second time in back-to-back innings.
Yeah, a very quick, fast-paced game we have here, as we're already seeing ourselves in the top of the fourth. No defensive changes here for the Rouse Raiders that I'm able to see, as we are still seeing the same players.
Wind starting to die down, and the flag's starting to drop a little bit. And the chill of the night air starting to creep in.
It's the one saving grace as the sun dies. So does the wind in most times. Not
except when we were at
necessarily
Lockhart last week. That wind stayed.
But that was a southerly wind. No, you're saying while we were
No, that was a northerly.
That was a northerly too, yeah.
Silva back out the pitch.
The guy's really looking forward to playing that with a south wind at the Lockhart field with a very new.
That inning, he got out with 8 pitches.
Starting the Hawks off in the fourth inning.
Very efficient.
32 through 3. Am I right?
Let's see. I believe y'all were off by 1.
How many does it say?
I think they had 33, but yeah, he has 33.
Swing and a miss.
Oh, and they also have the wrong pitcher
for Garcia.
They've got Baruman as the pitcher on Game Changer. Oops.
Baruman drew a walk his first time up. That pitch misses for ball 1.
Make sure that I didn't think I messed up. To double check myself and make sure I wrote everything down properly for you there, Mr. Francis. Pitcher, Colin Lee. Okay, just making sure.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Did they get it fixed? Or did they have the wrong one up?
He had the wrong one. Well, we have it right. It is Colin Lee.
Oh, wow. But, I mean, I guess he's being consistent because there were a couple of those that Lee pitched that should have been probably called strikes. 2-2. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Forsell would make the throw down to first to complete the strikeout.
He has Hansel as the left fielder as well, and I think that's where the conflicting is because
Hansel.
Baruman is Hansel is not in our lineup. Yeah, they're probably pulling the lineup out of Game Changer. So if he's looking out there and doesn't have the numbers correct,
that'll bring up Villalobos. He grounded to second his first time up on that great play by Rainer Heinrich.
Yeah, the numbers in Game Changer may.
The 0-1 and gets the outside corner for strike 2.
May be wrong, but let's see if we can find Mr. Espinosa.
Kid on deck. The 0-2, a breaking.
Yes, Kenny, I'm trying to.
Yeah, he called him. That's one of those delayed calls, but he got him on the punch out. He strikes out looking. We're out number 2. Kid will come to the plate. He singled back in the second. And he will take for a strike on the inside corner.
Oh, really?
The 0-1, that is fouled off for strike 2.
You definitely have some possible.
This is hit out to deep right field. That will one hop to the fence, and Kidd will hold up his second with a double.
Yeah, very well struck ball out to right field. Nothing that the ESPN-worthy player and Tyler Espinosa could do about that one, as it was a screamer one-hopper to right field.
Joaquin Baruman.
Ruman will come to the plate. He hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Cooper Ginn on deck. One on with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th for the Hawks. He will foul this one off. And Jen didn't even move a step over as that was lined over towards him. Shows some ice in his veins, but he's going to take a ding on his on deck fielding percentage, and it was played by a player out of the dugout.
Yes.
Another strike in there, and that'll take him 0-2. This will be fouled off and hit over toward the dugout.
And not so many guys with ice in their veins, as I think I heard some girlish squeals coming from the dugout on that one.
2-strike count to Baruman, and he will hit this one. This will be played by Miller. The throw to first will be in time, and that will end it. 5-3 on the putout. They get no runs on one hit. They leave one, and after 3.5, it's 1-0 Hayes.
Yeah, no harm, no foul there with the double.
Thank you to our Grand Slam
by the third batter. So
we want to recognize our home run sponsors. Tumble 22 in Cedar Park, Mode Design Company, Oots Environmental, Toyota of Cedar Park, and Mack Hike Ford. Thank you for your generous sponsorship of Rouse Raider Baseball.
Yeah. What is it? Is it Utes or UTZ?
I'm assuming it's pronounced Oots.
Oots.
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure, but
they're right down Crystal Falls.
Yeah, they're right down Crystal Falls.
I'm
right.
Always
I see their vehicles. I see their vehicles for sale out there. They're older trucks that they're getting rid of.
And then I'll tell you what, Tumble 22, best chicken sandwich I have ever had.
I do like their chicken tenders and fries.
That OG sandwich, and they do a different OG every month with different flavors. Ooh, super good.
Due up for the Raiders in the 4th, Espinosa, Salazar, and Miller. Cullen Lee back out to pitch the 4th, as you knew he would be with only 33 pitches.
33 pitches, yeah, keep them rolling. I know that we are due here, are the Raiders, to get the bats rolling and string together several hits here and take advantage of some speed on the base path. Honestly, I think if they get on, we're going to see a pretty quick steal attempt, pending who the person is, right? Not everybody on the up and down the lineup has speed, but a lot of them do. So
Espinosa, a strikeout victim his first time up. He has gone deeper in the count than any Raider.
And first high pitch called for a strike that we've seen.
Oscar Salazar on deck.
Or should I say high in the zone? It wasn't outside of the zone. It was a strike.
0-1. That's outside for ball 1.
One thing we will see probably change here is Tyler's not going to want to get behind like he did earlier and allow Cullen to have his way.
Swing and a miss, you were saying?
I said he wouldn't want to. He didn't watch that pitch, right? So he at least offered at it. I meant getting behind by watching pitches.
Okay, there you go. The 1-2. This is hit back up the middle. This will be booted off the glove of Esquivel, but it was deep in the hole. That'll be a hit for Espinosa.
And again, welcome back, Tyler Espinosa. Love that kid. He's awesome. Great presence in the dugout. Very soft-spoken guy, but he just really does great things on the field.
That's only the second hit given up by Lee tonight. That'll bring up Oscar Salazar.
Who has the other hit.
Yes, he does.
And it was also
up the middle.
Do we see a trend forming here?
First pitch offering gets the outside corner, a changeup, a little off-speed action.
I'd love to see something going shopping in the gap here off the bat of Osal. Maybe to the tune of right center, especially if he's going to live on that outer half like that last pitch was.
From the stretch, the 0-1.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The big, nasty.
Not a strike.
Now, I agree.
Dude, he turned away on that one. It almost still hit him and stayed off the plate inside the entire time. I could say something if it had more break in it to catch the outer back corner, but it didn't. It went around the plate.
0-2 the count to Salazar. 1 on with no outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Landon Miller on deck.
The radar guns from some of these guys here behind home plate are getting to see two really good pitchers going at it here.
The 0-2. Now, that looked like more of a strike than the previous pitch.
But definitely closer than the previous pitch.
No smack talking. Get sassy on me.
Oh, me?
Yeah, yes. Espinosa extends his lead at first. Lee will come home. This will be fouled away as Oscar gets it on the end of the bat.
Pitch to really drive. Was the chimes from the Raider dugout. Nobody better here, Osal. Nobody better.
The throw to first will not be in time as Catrone lays that tag on the back of Espinosa.
Most really good first
baseman. Lays, that's more like a slap, right?
Most first good basemen will do that intentionally, just to let you know.
1-2. Throw down to second will not be in time, and Espinosa will pick up a stolen base.
Surprised I didn't see that earlier in the count against Oscar to give Tyler the green light to go. I'm not really seeing a lot of strong throws here from the catcher, and part of that could be fooling you in pregame, in the throwdown to make you think that he doesn't have the arm. But Tyler beating that very easily.
2-2, and the pitch. Swing and a miss on a great pitch.
Now batting center fielder number 10, Landon Miller.
With Espinosa at second base, if Miller can hit one deep to the gap, Espinosa may score.
I think anything that gets in a gap, Tyler's great speed, unless he ends up having to pause for a potential ball that could be played. I mean, I believe that's the only reason he shouldn't score if something's.
Miller 0 for 1. He bunted back to the pitcher. Breaking ball down and away for ball 1.
Very, very good patience there from Landon Miller. He is one of those that knows he can change a game with one swing of his bat, and anything that's close, he's always going to be offering at it.
A 1-0 pitch.
Oh!
Wow.
That was in the dirt, too.
It wasn't in the dirt, but it was outside. He has given a couple of calls on here that are been questionable.
Starting to get a little bit loose, from where he was the first couple of
The game was moving quickly. Nathan Miller on deck. 1-1 the count. Lee will step off and look Espinosa back to second. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching Rouse Raider Baseball. Give us a shout out for your favorite player. If you're enjoying the podcast, be sure and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and you'll be notified every time we go live. That will be fouled away for a strike.
That was the pitch, too, right there. Same one that Oscar missed on, and Landon just barely missing on that, sending it right back at us behind home plate.
Espinosa, the first Raider to reach scoring position tonight. Veronica Arnold checking in. Let's go, Rouse. 1-2 the count. Miller will call time and back out.
Just trying to.
And a lot of chatter, and Lee taking a lot of time. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. We're out number 2.
Miller.
All right, Nathan Miller, pull one down the line here and give Tyler some opportunity to run for a few bases. Nathan does like that inside pitch and has a lot of good success pulling him down the line. Although that left center has also been a location for a lot of his at-bats here recently.
Miller popped up to second his first time up. That pitch will get away from Pacheco, and Espinosa will scamp her down to third base. And it actually stopped on the halo. The edge of the halo caused it to stop, and Pacheco overran it, think it was going into foul territory. And
even if he'd have fielded that again, but Tyler had a great jump on that, recognized that ball getting away just enough, and that's all he really needed.
A tying run just 90 feet away. Lee will deal down the middle for a strike, and that will even it up.
It's Miller time here in Rouse Raider Park. Right, the law offices of Miller and Miller?
Yeah, law offices of Miller and Miller. 1-1 pitch. This is hit back up the middle. This will be played by Esquivel. A throw to first in time, and that will do it for the Raiders. They will get no runs on one hit. They leave one. And after 4 complete, it's 1-0 Hayes.
Just, again, it's a battle. We knew it was going to be a battle, and, they're definitely not running away with this, but we need to get a few more hits put together. Leadoff batter.
Due up for the Hawks, Cooper, Jen, Adriano Fernandez, and Holden Gatrone. We want to recognize our Grand Slam sponsors. We want to give a shout out to Pulley. Pulley offers Texas construction teams a new take on building permitting. As your expediter, Ashley Knight ensures accurate permit requirements, fewer rounds of comments, and full visibility at every step so you can break ground sooner. Faster permits in Texas starting today. Energy for Purpose. We perform energy audits for a purpose, stewarding energy use to impact the most vulnerable. Again, thank you for your generous support of Rouse Raider baseball.
And we just are noticing that we did have a change here for the pitcher for your Rouse Raiders, and Dalton Holbrook has come in, the lefty specialist here, to relieve Gavin Silva, who was not high on his pitch count by any stretch, but does see Coach Krimpine deciding to make an adjustment. Holbrook not getting a lot of opportunities as of late because he has been sort of that designated guy to come in relief of Gavin Silva, and Gavin's been pitching extremely well with the exception of the Liberty Hill outing, which saw Dalton Holbrook come in the 3rd inning.
Cooper Jen is 0 for 2. He has struck out swinging both times. Holbrook will deal high and outside for ball one.
Great pitch there.
Mid pitch in for a strike. 1-1 the count. Pitch outside for ball two. The 2-1. Breaking ball in for a strike, and that will even it up. That'll be fouled off, and the count will stay even.
Almost a defensive swing there as that ball was diving in at his feet of Cooper Jen and just making. Had he missed that, well, he'd have been a strike regardless, but.
Fastball catches him looking, and he just can't believe it.
Yeah, it was very far inside, but again, that's that lefty.
That's the hat trick for him. 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's not understanding how to change up his night at the plate.
Adriano Fernandez will come to the plate. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a hit by pitch, and he takes for a strike.
Yeah, he actually looked to be wanting to lay down a bunt, didn't pull the bat back, and coach rings him up on a strike.
Well, the curveball in for a strike.
Yeah, Dalton Holbrook, one of the ones that we did get to see late in the playoff run last year.
A breaking ball. This is lifted high into right center, and that will fall in for a stand-up double. It will bring up Holden Catrone.
Yeah, definitely thinking Landon Miller would have had an opportunity, but the wind still assisting to push that further away from Landon. He's thinking he's gaining ground on it, and the wind's just still pushing it out to very deep right center.
Catrone 0 for 0. He has walked and reached on an error.
But the 1,000% on base percentage for Catrone.
1 on with 1 out. Fernandez standing at second, as Catrone will take for a strike. Holbrook from the stretch. He'll step off and he'll look Fernandez back to second.
Holbrook giving just a quick look.
A breaking ball that gets away from Forcell, and he's able to play it quickly, and Fernandez will hold it second.
Real jumpy guy there, Fernandez at second. Seeing more and more of that from the base runners.
One pitch. Breaking ball in for a strike. That's a nasty little pitch right there.
Yes, it is. And these guys looking up afterwards like, wow, how am I supposed to do anything with that? It's almost like they have to back out of the box to really get around on that, as it's inside from such a wide angle, with that 3/4 arm slot from Holbrook.
The 1-2 pitch. A slider misses low for ball two.
That evens it up.
A 2-2 pitch. This is hit deep to right, and that will go foul.
Hard to say whether that was an intentional
And
placement
that's the first,
or just a late reaction.
That's the first contact we've seen from Catrone, really.
You see a lot of those really good hitters that'll just hold on a half second longer so that they can drive the ball up the line without really changing their stance at all and giving it away.
Holbrook deals. This is hit foul down the third base side. Holbrook with the blue glove.
Yeah, I was noticing that as well, and it could be part of just his preference or
favorite glove, right?
Could be color matching with his summer.
Throw back to second will not be in time. That's a quick spin off by Holbrook.
We'll make Adriano think probably a little bit more about getting too far off that bag.
The 2-2 pitch, that's outside for ball 3. Full count. Esquivel on deck. Holbrook toes in. The payoff pitch. Misses inside for ball 4. And that'll put 2 on.
For 6, Gio Esquivel.
Coming again. Another runners at first and second scenario, but we now have that double play ball alive for the Raider defense. See if we can draw up a little grounder.
Pitch high and outside for ball 1.
Here, almost anywhere will the defense be able to turn it. Strong arms throughout the infield for the Raiders.
Esquivel with a strikeout and a sac bunt, RBI. Want to know the count to Esquivel. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
All the aces up there.
The 1-1 delivery. This is outside.
Sander doing his best to try to sneak that in there for a strike call, and ump having nothing to do with that one.
Yeah, he wasn't buying what he was selling.
Well, could have been a very good, nice try, buddy. Nice try. Maybe give him a little tap. Good try.
2-1. This is lifted high and foul out of play. But it will even the count.
And once again, that Holbrook inside pitch has been effective for him. Just barely missing against Catrone in the last at bat, but having an opportunity here to maybe we'll see that again.
2-2 the count. Holbrook takes a long look back at Fernandez, and he will deal a breaking ball. Misses low.
He wanted that one.
for ball 3 and another full count. Throw back to second, not in time.
And again, just doing what they can, keep that runner honest and Adriano Fernandez. And Rayner getting his steps in.
The payoff pitch comes in and catches him looking.
Great pitch. Took a little off of that one, and it fooled
Now batting pitcher.
the batter into thinking that really was just going to drop, as all of them have. And again, with that speed, would not have, but great changeup.
That will bring up Cullen Lee. He is hit into a fielder's choice and is flown out to right. That Superman play by Tyler Espinoza. Just a bit outside. He looked like he was about to call it, but that was outside.
The batter's box line. It was on the white. Just not the
plate white.
Not the plate.
1-0 to Lee. Swing and a miss.
No doubt in that one right there. Strike either way you want to look at that one, whether he swung or not. But you can see why they're going to right field with those pitches really being on the outer half.
The 1-1. This is hit out to right. Espinoza will make the catch, and again,
a little bit more
retired
that one.
Cullen Lee. That will end the Hawk fourth. They get no runs on one hit. They leave 2.
Yeah, and again, seeing those 2 runners with only 1 out and not really able to put together any kind of substantial hit streak to keep the batters around, and they really didn't do that in the inning that allowed them to score with getting the error.
Due up for the Raiders in the 5th.
I know you guys are still hungry.
Sanchez, Silva, and Solis. Well, it should be Holbrook.
Yeah, we got 50.
I believe they have some hot chocolate coffee over there as well.
But actually, no, it is Silva. They did bring him out. So does that mean that
we will see a change?
Holbrook is done. I do see Carson Hendy up.
Oh, Hendy. That to those that do not know, that would be Carson Henderson.
Carson Henderson. Cullen Lee back out to pitch.
50
pitches
so far. So, but not having obviously completed the 5th. But yeah, Carson Henderson, a very, very similar pitcher in stature, delivery, and everything that Dalton Holbrook is. We did sort of discuss this earlier, Coach having multiple arms to choose from, and with us seeing 3 series left, we want to see those guys getting more game time and use out of those arms. So it's a great problem for a coach to have, but then not a great problem because you do want to get these guys in, and you don't want to pull your primary starters out when they're having a great game. It's a balancing act, right? Coach does it very well, as his record reflects.
That will bring up Andrew Sanchez. He's 0 for 1. He struck out back in the 2nd. on 3 consecutive pitches.
Yeah, and I would love to see him get his bat going again.
Pitch down and away for ball 1. Sanchez DHing for the left fielder, Adrian Graves. And he will take outside for ball 2. He's consistent because he didn't call that a strike from Dalton Holbrook either.
No, he didn't, and that looked really good there. So,
but at least he's consistent. The 2-0, boy, that dropped in. That was nasty.
Colin Lee, really interesting. Just sort of watching his delivery here. Real squatty.
Blake Gonzalez checking in. Bork Nuke incoming. Yeah, we need that, right? That one fouled off. And the count goes 2-2. That one fouled off, and we'll stay 2-2. Gonzo checking in. Chris and Erica Holland checking in. They're supporting their Hawks. Let's go, Hawks. Thank you for tuning in and watching and supporting your team here. The 2-2 pitch. This one is lifted high to right field.
Oh, he lost it, but
he lost sight of it. Graydon Kidd comes on and makes the catch, and that will do it for Sanchez.
Number 6, Gavin Silva.
One away for Gavin Silva. Silva flew out to left his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Jacob Solis on deck. Lee toes in. His first pitch offering is fouled off.
One thing that we do see here, Gavin Silva's got that sneaky power from the right side with that bat. Seen him hit several home runs, during scrimmages, and
that will back him out of the box for ball 1. 1-1 the count.
But again, that wind is not letting up out there, so one of those you do not want to get it up in the air.
That pitch will stay high for ball 2. One thing about this umpire, he kind of leaves you wondering sometimes. Some of these pitches have been really close in the strike zone, and he's not called them strikes. And then stuff that was apparently out of the strike zone, he called strikes.
See, that was a strike, but he
didn't call
give it to him with that drop. And yeah, I think if he catches that one, that was
been a strike all day long. And so that just goes to show the importance of that catcher behind the plate, because a lot of times he can sell it to the umpire as he's making that last second.
Yeah, that movement.
3-1 the count. The pitch. This is hit foul and out of play.
But again, just as high as that ball was, hit it really hard and just didn't travel anywhere. Just landing there on the batting cage there during BP.
He'll foul this one away as well. Full count to Gavin Silva.
What we need to see here is just something on the ground through the hole. Let's get a base runner.
Raiders have only had 2 base runners on the evening, and they've stranded both of them.
Gavin calling for time and had been being awarded that.
That misses for ball 4, and Silva will draw the walk.
Just as good as a hit at this point in time in the game with the only one out.
Now batting shortstop, number 7, Jacob Solis.
Again, would really love to see Jacob Solis getting it on the ground early in the game, early as well, just not able to run it out. And
Yeah, he
maybe having an opportunity.
grounded to short his first time up.
Love to see that bunt down the third base line. Although Adriano Fernandez is playing in.
That pitch outside, the throw down by Pacheco, not in time. As Silva will pick up a stolen base.
And now that could see Adriano really not play as much on the grass dirt line. Uh-oh.
Probably knocked the wind out of him a little bit. That was a hard slide in.
Yeah, very much so. And he had to get up, stretch the legs a little bit, and don't know we'll see him breaking for third, but again, that does change the defensive stance starting point from Adriano over there at third, and that good bunt down the third base line could see Jacob Solis reach on an infield hit.
Xander Forcell on deck. That will get away from Pacheco on the wild pitch. And Silva will hold up at third. That's the first wild pitch we've seen. And
so is he making
Coach Howard
adjustment here?
Not exactly sure. Maybe he's
Solis coming up and yeah, looks like it as the catcher is making his way to the
dugout. Okay.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, he does not want to.
Oh, he was not happy. He slammed his helmet in the dugout.
Yeah, I mean that could be just as much disgusted with himself, for a
right. Yeah, not that he got
the runner
was out. So we'll look and get a number here to see.
God, that looks almost like their first baseman. He's a big guy, but it is not. 24 maybe.
It's about 23, I think.
Not a 23. There's a 21. Mark Ramirez. 20.
Well, that's a crooked number. So
maybe.
What's his name?
Ryder Pearson is number 25. I'm assuming.
I think that's right.
That's the right number. Yeah. Number 25. Ryder Pearson is now in the game at catcher.
For the Hawks, Ryder Pearson.
Relieving Jeremiah Pacheco.
And this is hit into left. And Silva will score.
Jacob Solis coming in absolute clutch. Love seeing that from that young man. Love seeing that. Shin guards, yeah. Shin guards. Oh. Kathleen's up here going, Xander, your shins, Xander, your shins. And then you hear it from the crowd as he's caught up in the moment, watching the tie and run come in. And
Chris and Erica checking in and letting us know that Ryder is only a sophomore. That kid is huge.
God, I would assume a football player as well. I mean, he looks like a linebacker there. And again, the very same stature as their first baseman for the Hawks.
Xander Forcell will come to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to second his first time up. Almost beat the throw out. And he will hit this one to left center into the gap. And he will get a base hit.
Well, there it is. String a few hits together. And will that actually see, even though we have a very, very low pitch count from Colin Lee, bottom of the lineup has shown to be very effective here. Back to back to back batters.
Now you have a walk and 2 singles in the bottom of the order. And that will bring us up to the top. But Heinrich has struggled tonight. He's lined to third and popped out to third.
But
so
it's amazing
he's
watching your guys in front of you get on. It actually changes. That ball looks almost like a softball after that, or beach ball, as they would say.
I think that's number 1.
Diego Gayton
coming in to run
coming
for
in
Xander
to
Forcell.
run for Xander Forcell. Heinrich 0 for 2. Lee from the stretch. You'll deal on this one is lifted high into left center. And it will not be deep enough for Solis to advance on the fly out.
Again, just goes to show that any ball hit in the air is getting absolutely eaten up here in this ballpark. And that is one thing that has always been really something positive for our players. They know that better than anybody, and yet we're still seeing a lot of lift and a lot of high balls.
Well, that'll bring up Tyler Espinosa. He's 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out.
Espy or ESP.
Oscar Salazar on deck. First pitch from Lee misses low for ball 1.
Yes, it was. But
Veronica going, woo, Lander. 1-0. That's down and away for ball 2. The count. Pitch inside. He lays off for ball 3.
Yeah, was able to check the swing there, and although he did like that inside pitch and thought better of it.
3-0. Oscar Salazar on deck. A 3-0 delivery. That's in there for a strike.
Yeah, looking to be taking all the way, even though he definitely showed to be ready for that. Not just standing there, as we do see very frequently. Now, coach just talking to him about what is he thinking for the next pitch. Does have a couple to work with here. Anything close will bring up the very dangerous Oscar Salazar if we see Tyler Espinosa get on with either a hit or a walk here.
Lee taking a long look in. He'll come set. And the 3-1 pitch. That pitch in for a strike as Espinosa takes. And he works it back full. He takes another long look in. And this is reminiscent of last year. He did take his time on the mound. Payoff pitch misses for ball 4.
Oh, yeah, it was high and definitely above the zone, but Colin Lee not at all happy as he was making his way to the dugout.
And that will load the bases.
Expecting himself to be out of this inning, but it's just shown that he is not giving that pitch.
It is not. I mean, it was a decent looking pitch. It could have gone either way, right? So, I mean, unfortunately, it bounced Rouse's way on that call.
Well, what do we see with Oscar Salazar against, it wasn't Lehman, I believe, where he was just throwing low and low, and there was multiple times that you saw him walk off.
Right, ready to go to the dugout.
I'm no, I'm still not going to give you that pitch. And again, it's adjustments that these guys need to be aware of, and and understand he's not giving the outer half. He's not giving high in the zone. And, it's unfortunate. It really is. And
Chris and Erica Holland, you guys are doing great. Will y'all be at the game Friday at Hayes? Yes, we will.
Yes, ma'am.
We sure will.
And, sir.
Thank you for the kind words.
Is chiming in on that. But, yes, thank y'all very much. And we will let everybody know, anybody that can't make the game for Hayes, we're going to call the game as we see it. We try not to really be too biased. But we do, obviously.
Yeah, we are a Rouse broadcast, but we try to be as unhomerish as we possibly can.
But do have a little bit more excitement on the Raider side of things. But I just love watching great baseball, whether that's a visiting team or home team.
Salazar 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out. This is hit back up the middle. This will score two runs as Solis will score, and Diego Gayton will come across.
Once again, up the middle shot from Oscar Salazar that gets through there in a rush.
2 RBI single.
Miller.
As the Raiders have plated.
Not say Michael had that in his book. I would have to reference Game Changer, which I show that
I have 5.
4 is what this, but they may not have updated it yet.
First pitch to Landon Miller, in for a strike. Runners at first and second with 2 outs.
It's 5 hits now. They hadn't posted Oscar's second hit, so it is.
That pitch inside for ball 1, and Lee just wondered where did that miss as it backed.
Well, it almost hit
Miller out, but he called that a strike previously on another batter. And this time he calls it a ball. Another breaking ball misses for ball 2. 2-1 the count. No activity going in the Hayes bullpen. Nathan Miller on deck.
Just as you say that, I'm watching somebody grab a glove and making their way, possibly.
2-1. This is fouled back, and that will even it up at 2.
Oh, a little hot chocolate.
Veronica with some kind words. These 2 guys are great. My favorite to listen to. Thank you, Veronica, for those very kind words. Deuce is wild for Landon Miller. Again, Lee taking a long look in. That is hit to right, and that'll be played by the third baseman. And what a throw. What an arm by Fernandez to get Miller at first, because Miller is
infielder.
Fast. I mean, he is fast, and what a frozen rope by Adriano Fernandez to get the out at first to end the Raider 5th.
And I'll tell you
That'll go 5-3 on the putout of Miller, but the Raiders get 3 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 2.
Okay, so we do have a few adjustments here happening. We did see that Gavin Silva did hit for himself with Dalton Holbrook having come in to pitch for him, and that did allow for Gavin Silva now to re-enter the game as the third baseman in place of Nathan Miller, who has now adjusted and made his way to the mound and pitched for the Rouse Raiders. So, again, as I alluded to earlier, Coach having quite a few arms to work with, several of which have not seen a lot of innings over the last 3 series. So now we see Nathan Miller able to come in, and another senior pitcher here for the Rouse Raiders. I'm not seeing any other adjustments on the field, as we do still have the same other infielders, Jacob Solis and Rainer Heinrich. Outfield has stayed the same, and Zan Man is still behind the plate, calling the pitches now to Nathan Miller. I think I got it all.
All right.
With that, of course, just real quick, capitalize on this time to discuss what we have seen from our first couple of pitchers here, and that would be...
We do have some activity going in the Raider bullpen. Carson Henderson.
Okay.
Loosening up.
A moment.
First pitch cut on and missed by Ryder Garcia. Garcia is 0 for 2. Or he's 0 for 1. That one fouled away for strike 2. So he has walked and struck out. Fastball misses low for ball 1. 1-2.
And even that one drew a double take from Nathan Miller, as he thought maybe that he had gotten the first strikeout.
Villalobos, wow. What a nice pitch. It's called a ball.
Yeah, outside, broke in over the, again, high, though. I mean,
the 2-2. That is fouled away, and the count will remain even at 2. And it's frustrated, pitchers tonight somewhat because of the strike zone of this particular umpire. That is lined back up the middle. That's played by Heinrich. The throw to first. In time.
Again.
Wow.
We are seeing some great infield play, both from the Hawks and your Raiders. Just these plays. I wish we had that capability of zooming in like you see on these ESPN update games that really, or even instant replay to show these plays again. They've been really awesome.
Villalobos will take for a ball, a pitch down and away. He's 0 for 2. He is grounded to second and struck out looking. A bender that goes in for a strike. The 1-1, a fastball. This is lifted high into right field, and Tyler Espinosa will make the catch. And that will do it for Villalobos. And that'll bring up Graydon Kidd, and Kidd is 2 for 2. He has singled and doubled.
Yeah, another lefty batter here, and now getting to see Nathan Miller for the first time, as he's been successful against both Gavin Silva and Dalton Holbrook in his previous at-bats.
Keen Baruman on deck. Pitch way outside for ball 1.
Very intense on the mound is Nathan
Miller has Forcell run back through the signs. This was foul.
Fly ball safe. In play.
Solis will call it and make the catch and land on his backside.
Had to collapse there just to
fly out to shore. It's the first time that Kidd has been retired tonight.
Yeah, and again, that wind really playing havoc with that ball as it floated back against Jacob Solis, who had to.
And the Hawks
fall.
The Hawks go in order in the 6th. After 6 or 5.5, it's 3-1 Rouse. Due up for the Raiders.
In that right forward. Thank you to all of our.
Yeah, and just a real quick rundown. And Colin Lee is making himself back out, and we do have some activity, so I'm not sure how much of a leash they will have Colin Lee on in this inning.
Miller, Sanchez, and Silva are due up.
That is now number 12 warming up for the Hayes Hawks. That would be Tyler McInvale. Yes. McInvale.
Christina Diaz checking in. Let's go Raiders.
Miss Mama Diaz.
Mama Diaz.
Love that. So real quick.
Mother of Colby, Caleb, and Lily.
Yeah.
I got it right. I got it right, didn't I, Christina?
So, yeah, we did see Gavin Silva having gone 4 innings, did allow 2 hits, 1 run, not earned, coming off of that error. He did have 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. Dalton Holbrook went a full inning, allowing also 1 hit, 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. Now Nathan Miller, we'll see if he makes his way back out.
Nathan Miller will come to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He has popped up to second and grounded to second.
See if his bat gets some new life, having shut down the inning there for the Raiders on the mound.
And he will take for a strike on the outside corner.
A little change in scenery defensively can sometimes change your approach and change that at bat, especially with a little bit of adrenaline. Again, he's very intense on the mound, is Nathan Miller.
The 0-1 from Lee, and this is hit out to right center.
Gosh.
And Graydon Kidd will be able to get to it in time and retire Miller.
Yeah, too well struck on that one. Is no issues at all for Graydon Kidd to.
That will bring up Sanchez, and Sanchez has struck out and flown out to right. He's 0 for 2. He will take high and inside for ball 1. I was kind of curious. He looked like he was about to call that a strike, and that was right at Sanchez's head. Now that's a strike.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, and again, it was that high and inside pitch, but that high part is what he's not really calling tonight.
Silva on deck. This pitch is fouled back for strike 2.
And that's the pitch to drive right there. I mean, that was in his wheelhouse for Andrew Sanchez. Such a big kid and swings a big bat and just not really. Oh, yeah, I think he went.
The umpire at the plate called him.
Plate called him yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, they called for the appeal, but didn't need it.
Now batting third baseman, number 6, Gavin Silva.
That will bring up Silva. Silva drew a walk back in the 5th to get things going for the Raiders, and he will swing and miss for strike 1.
Yeah, what did I say during that time? A walk was as good as a hit, getting base runners on. Great pitch.
Another pitch in for a strike, and Silva in an 0-2 count. That'll bounce to the backstop for ball 1.
First time I've seen him spike one today from Colin Lee. Been very effective and very consistent on the mound, as we are used to seeing, right, from what we saw last year.
Yeah. The 1-2, that's high for ball 2, and that'll even it up. Jacob Solis on deck.
Ooh.
That pitch misses inside for ball 3, and Silva has worked it back full. See, it's worked in reverse. Last time he was 3-0, and Lee worked back to a full count, and this time it was 0-2, and Silva worked it back to a full count. And he'll foul that one away.
Coach did not make any effort to field that ball from his batter's
It's that frozen rope. I can't hold that against him.
Box.
He fouls that one away for another opportunity. Hernandez, or Pearson, I'm sorry. Hernandez was, I did it again. I just, Pearson, forgive me, folks. Ryder Hernandez played for Cedar Park, and I just remembered that name with Ryder. So, and Silva will take for ball 4 as he draws a back-to-back walk.
And I'll tell you what, did you notice Jacob Solis hurt his on-deck fielding percentage as the home plate umpire actually had to go get that ball.
Ding him. That'll drop him down to a 666, right?
Or
667 on the night on his on-deck fielding percentage. Another crazy stat brought to you by Francis and Kaspar. He'll take for a strike.
Well, we got to have fun with it.
We got our crazy made-up stats.
Tell you what, see if Jacob Solis can build off of that last at bat.
Okay. He'll foul tip this one, and he's in an 0-2 count. 1 on with 2 outs. Pearson thought about calling time to go talk to Lee, but he will reset and get back behind the plate.
Yeah, I think that was a Little help for the home plate umpire. Took that foul ball.
The 0-2, and this is hit into left, and will get by Cooper Jen.
Yeah, I think he was ready to. Gavin Silva showing the wheels, and he rounded second hard.
That was
going to get.
That was deep in the hole and off the glove, not really on the glove. So I'm hesitant to call that an error.
Had he fielded that, he would have had a very difficult time making the throw.
I think so. I'm going to give him a single on
either
that
way, but yeah, Gavin Silva rounded hard and just dove into the dirt to stop himself. So because the ball did not get away from.
2 on for Xander Forcell. Forcell 1 for 2. He has singled and grounded to second. And then he will take for ball 1. And where Lee had started off on a very low pitch count, these past couple of innings are seeing him go a little deeper.
Well, yeah, we're getting back-to-back innings, seeing the same batters for the Raiders.
And he lines this one out to right center, and this is going to fall in.
And he's going to run for double and not home.
And it's going to score another one. This could be a triple.
Oh, and the fence saved them from
another run.
The dugout.
And that'll be a 2 RBI triple for Xander Forcell.
And with the rock star pose from Xander Forcell.
So he hit a home run last week for his first varsity home run. And tonight he comes in with a 2-run RBI triple.
Yeah, and just, again, seeing the ball get pushed further and further away from Villalobos, who looked like he was all over that. And just, again, I think the wind got enough of it to push it into the gap in right center and allowed him to.
That may be it for Cullen Lee as Coach Howard makes his way out to the mound. He doesn't have a pitcher in tow, but he had a pitcher getting loose, McAvale, and he does ask for the ball. And that will be it for Cullen Lee, but what a night he has had. I know these past couple innings aren't really reflective of the start of this game as he really kept Rouse off balance.
Yes.
Number 12.
No, it's number 12. Tyler McInvale.
You see?
McInvale. MC.
McInvale. Tyler McInvale.
MC.
Comes on in relief.
Yeah, I definitely talked to Coach Howard just to make sure. So hopefully I am getting that right as Coach Howard gave me his expert tutelage on pronunciations of these players.
Well, that was nice of him.
Yeah, that's like.
I like to make sure that we're doing it right.
Berumen.
Myself, Berumen.
Berumen. I was like, I think I tried to go Berumen, and he says nope, it's Berumen.
Rainer Heinrich is due up,
and is due.
And he is due. I can't recall the last time I've had him 0-3. And he is 0-3.
So he was 0-3 in the Lehman Lobos game.
Was he?
And then he came and got a double after that.
Well, I know he couldn't find the answer
Liberty Hill
against Lee or against Blaze Milam with Liberty Hill.
Yeah, and then with Cullen Lee exiting the game,
how about
his
the bottom of the lineup for the Rouse Raiders tonight?
Yes, sir. And a lot to be said for that is a huge positive for these Raiders moving forward. And again, just a real quick recap here. Cullen Lee going 5 2/3, allowing 7 hits, 5 runs all earned, but does get 5 strikeouts with 3 walks. On 99 pitches, but 62 for strikes. So, again, very effective and very effective early. And as you mentioned, Michael, I mean, that 99 pitch count, which 110, folks, is the capped limit for the pitchers in district play
play in general.
Play in general is 110 pitches. And so he was up against that as well. And, I think all for naught, he had a great outing and just not getting some of the calls that he would have liked late here.
Rainer Heinrich will face McInvale for the first time tonight. And he will show bunt. He will lay off for ball one. Tyler Espinoza on deck. This is hit back up the middle. This will be a base hit, an RBI single for Rainer Heinrich.
And just like that, back on the hitting
Now batting right fielder
page.
Tyler Espinoza.
And Mr. Espy coming back in here.
Espinoza will come to the plate. And the Raiders have had 2 big innings after struggling for the first 4. Espinoza will show bunt, lay off.
Got him. Wow.
And the throw down from Pearson will get Heinrich out, and Heinrich is
rolling up
down a little bit. So he's shaking things off. I think he jammed his neck sliding into second.
Yeah, and definitely a different arm back there behind home plate than what we saw earlier, as that was a very well thrown ball. Little high, but still had enough on it to beat the very speedy Rainer Heinrich to the bag, and tag laid down. I don't know if the tag also assisted in why he's getting up a little gimpy.
That'll go 2-6 on the putout of Heinrich as he was caught stealing. To end the Raider 6th with Espinoza at the plate.
Yeah, and both coach and the trainer making their way over there, checking on Rainer Heinrich, just making sure he is okay.
So Espinoza will lead off in the 7th if the Hawks are able to tie this ballgame.
All right, Nathan,
or take the lead.
Nathan Miller did return to the mound to potentially finish off the game here for the Raiders, as we are in the top of the 7th and with the 6-1 lead. If the Hayes Hawks are not able to,
let's do this too. Let's recognize our walk-off sponsor, GPS Legends Baseball. With over 50 years of professional playing experience on staff, we help young men find their direction on and off the field. It's bigger than baseball. Thank you, GPS Legends, for your generous sponsorship of Rouse Raider Baseball.
Yeah, great program over there. Been around a long time and sent a lot of young men on to the next level.
Leading off for Hayes will be Joaquin Burman. He is hitting to a fielder's choice and grounded to third.
And a swing and a miss on the first pitch.
Cooper Jen on deck, followed by Adriano Fernandez. Pitch high and outside for ball one. The 1-1 delivery misses down and in for ball two.
And a quick update here. Top of the 7th, Lehman at Leander. Leander is up 5-0.
Breaking ball in for a strike. And that will even it up. Do what now?
Lehman versus Leander at Leander Lyon Field, and Leander is up 5-0, top of 7th.
Pitch outside for ball three. And the count goes full.
So very, very similar situation. 5-run game. Leander pitching.
Drop third strike. Throw down to first to complete the strikeout. That'll go K2-3.
For the press one. Go get him.
For out number one. Oh, I heard an O. Woo! Woo! Go get that deal. Two for the price of one.
Stand. Anybody that's within earshot.
Need some of those Double Dave's pepperoni pizza rolls.
I bet you they're probably not even checking for tickets at the gate. You could walk in here and get.
Wow, where did that miss?
Over the middle.
That's been a strike all night. That just misses Cooper Jen.
Oh, and he snapped back up and looked back at Nathan, not a little disgusted with that.
The 2-0
pitch.
Swing and a miss. As Cooper looked like he was swinging for the fences on that one. 2-1 the count. This is a slow roller. It'll be played by Miller. The throw to first in time, and that will do it for Jen. That'll go 1-3
Down third base.
on the put out. And the Hawks are down to their final out. And Fernandez will come to the plate.
Yeah, no
He
change.
is 2 for 2 with a single, a double, and he's been hit by a pitch
And a cannon
for an arm. My
Third.
goodness. Yeah.
You know, he even slipped, which was even more amazing.
And he will take for a strike.
Yeah, he slipped trying to make the play on that ball, and then once he reset his feet, wow.
Kathleen is on pins and needles. That pitch high and outside for ball one. Holden Catrone on deck. Breaking ball outside for ball two.
Enough of break in that breaking ball to get in there for a strike call, so.
2-1. And the pitch. That's high and outside for ball three.
Yeah, no need to put a runner on here as they've just had a very good game here late with pitching.
Fastball high and outside for ball four, and Fernandez will draw the walk, and the Raiders had not been able to retire him all night long. He is 1,000 on base percentage.
Great job for him, for sure. So
he has been on base every time he has come up. Holden Catrone has 2 walks and has reached on an error. Wow. He called that a strike.
He did. I mean,
Oh, my goodness.
he had a lot of movement, and if I had to say,
That was outside.
Caught a little corner of the plate. Maybe.
That's a big generous guess.
Yeah, but even Catrone really didn't, seem to shake his head or have any issues with that pitch.
No, but from our vantage point.
Yeah, from up here, it did not.
But he's had others that were dead strikes that didn't get called. So swing and a miss for strike 2.
Going right at power versus power here. Miller versus Catrone.
And Hayes down to their final strike unless Catrone can get on base.
Yeah, 22 versus
22s versus the 22s with a 2-2 with a 0-2 count with 2 outs. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. And your Raiders will pick up game 1.
Wow.
As they come back
Hawks won.
to take the lead and win this one 6-1 over a very good Hayes Hawks team.
Right, and what we've seen is they've split against Cedar Park already, have the Rebels, and I don't recall, have they played Liberty Hill yet and split with Liberty Hill, or was it Leander that they split with?
Leander split with Liberty Hill.
Right.
I don't know that Hayes has played.
They played Cedar Park for sure. And
Liberty Hill yet, so I can tell you here in just one moment.
Just again, quick recap here. The final here, 6-1 for the Raiders. I did go over the starting pitchers. We'll go and McInvale did come in basically for a third of the inning, allowing 1 hit, no earned runs, strikeouts, or walks. He did have a total of 3 pitches in his outing, and the Nathan Miller, having come in to be the third pitcher for the Raiders, did go 2 full innings, allowing no hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. So again, walks, each pitcher giving up a few walks there. Total of 4 for the night, so not horribly bad, spaced out amongst those 3. Offensively, we did see 25 batters come to the plate. We did have a total of 8 hits for the Raiders, 6 RBIs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and obviously the 6 runs. So
Heroes of the game, you have to look at Jacob Solis and Xander Forcell.
yes, two late hits, something that has not been happening with any kind of frequency lately. Xander coming off of a great at bat or a great game last week, sort of building on that, trying to find those, hitting the home run, hitting a triple. So we know he's capable of doing it. He's shown that throughout summer ball. He's thrown spurts of it throughout last year and now this year. I mean, again, this is what you want to see. Having that part of the lineup pick up the front part of the lineup that wasn't hitting as well tonight, even though Oscar Salazar got his hits again and RBIs. And that looks great. Looks great position that we'll be in moving forward.
So what a game it was. I mean, a great game by Cullen Lee for those first 4 innings that he was just – Rouse had no answer. And finally, in the 5th, the bottom of the order comes to life and then makes things happen. And back-to-back innings in the 5th and the 6th, and able to turn the tables and get this win. So, what a great night for the Raiders, but what a great performance by Cullen Lee and Hayes.
And now Coach Crimpine with win number 501. So now starts the count to 600.
Right? So he kind of played that. He kind of played that out. So
yeah, 500 short-lived.
It does look like our camera froze up, but I'm not sure when it froze up. From what I'm seeing, our camera didn't, but OBS did.
Yes.
But at any rate, we will be live again Friday night at Hayes. We want to thank you for tuning in and watching Rouse Raider baseball here on SHN Sports. We do have a Saturday game at Lake Belton, and Jonathan and I will be on the road to bring you that one as well. So for Jonathan Kaspar, I'm Michael Francis. The happy final here tonight. Rouse 6, Hayes 1.